Ms. Monaco, last week, the National School Board Association wrote to President Biden asking the administration to bring the full force and weight of the feds down onto parents who are protesting various school policies at school board meetings, including the indoctrination of children with an anti-American doctrine known as critical race theory, or protesting the requirement that children as young as 2 be required to wear masks. Now, I think we can all agree that violence is not an acceptable form of political protest, and violence can never be used to achieve policy or political goals. But that's not what the School Board Association letter focuses on. In fact, in one example of what the association thinks warrants federal criminal charges, they cite, and this is a direct quote, an individual who prompted a school board to call a recess because of opposition to critical race theory. A recess. The association is asking the administration to use the Patriot Act.
A man punched a school board member in the face at a board meeting last night.
Tense moments between educators and parents caught on camera at school board meeting.
Michael, back to you and the issue at hand. I'm going to play for you part of a school board meeting in Tennessee that just dissolved over the subject of mask wearing.
Has set off a firestorm that has roiled school districts and state legislatures nationwide.
The classroom sparking a heated debate in yet another Metro Atlanta school district. Right now, parents are lining up outside the Cobb County Board of Education. District leaders planning a final vote to ban the teaching of critical race theory.
Well, new tonight, public comment chaos, angry parents and teachers coming with their complaints to the CCSD school board meeting.
Let these teachers come in and act as if they have nothing wrong. They've done nothing wrong. A mistake? How long of a mistake? How many mistakes are we going to take before my child almost lost her life? They didn't tell me that my child was suicidal. You allowed these teachers to open their classrooms teaching predatory information.
No more masks. This is illegal.
Does DOJ see parents asking questions as a threat? Because we've seen reports from teachers, parents, and other members of a private Facebook group in Loudoun County, Virginia, that have been accused of compiling a list of names of district parents who oppose critical race theory in order to track, hack, and dox them, or even intimidate them into self-censorship. Should these teachers and other members of this private Facebook group be pursued by the FBI as domestic terrorists as well?
Senator, free speech is a hallmark value.
So it's free speech for teachers that want to track parents, but it's not free speech for parents that want to show up at a school board meeting and make their displeasure known and engage in public discourse because those parents, taxpayers, are paying the bill.
More likely, what I think to be the case is that you knew full well that this is exactly the kind of thing that would happen. When you issued your memo, when you involved the Department of Justice and all of its resources, and the FBI and all of its resources, and local school boards and local school districts, you knew that federal prosecutors would start collecting crimes that they could use against parents. You knew they would advise state and local officials that these are all of the ways parents might be prosecuted. You knew that that was the likely outcome, and that's exactly what's happened. And we're talking about parents like Scott Smith, who's behind me over my shoulder. This is a father from Loudoun County, Virginia. Here he is at a school board meeting. He was forcibly restrained. He was assaulted. He was arrested. Why? Because he went to an elected school board meeting. He's a voter, by the way. He went to an elected school board meeting to raise the fact that his daughter was assaulted, sexually assaulted, in a girl's restroom by a boy. This is what happened to him. Do you think people like Scott Smith, do you think parents who show up to complain about their children being assaulted ought to be treated like this man right here? Ask you about this. Several of my Democrat colleagues have today, just today in this hearing, multiple times have compared parents who show up at school board meetings, like Mr. Smith here, have compared them to criminal rioters. You think that's right? You think that a parent who shows up at a school board meeting, who has a complaint, who wants to voice that complaint, and maybe she doesn't use exactly the right grammar, you think they're akin to criminal rioters? Do you agree with that? Mr. Smith is a parent who went to a school board meeting. I'll leave it at this, General Garland. You have weaponized the FBI and the Department of Justice. Your U.S. attorneys are now collecting and cataloging all the ways that they might prosecute parents like Mr. Smith because they want to be involved in their children's education and they want to have a say in their elected officials. It's wrong. It is unprecedented, to my knowledge, in the history of this country, and I call on you to resign.